Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of the Full Measures podcast. I'm your host. A lot of you guys know me in my factual opinion. You guys know me as Ricardo. Here as my co-host is Badgie Boy TV. You can call him Wyatt. You can call him Badgie. He's a huge Breaking Bad fan, just like me. Huge Breaking Bad universe fan, as you can see by his sick ass hat. I had the old podcast, and we just couldn't make our schedules work. But I still wanted a podcast because it's a lot of fun. And I thought, why not do it with Wyatt? He is a huge television nerd like me, so we kind of sync up on that. And it's a lot of fun podcasting, man. It's a lot of fun to kind of talk back and forth with people. So that's why I wanted to keep it going. So, Badgie, if you want to just let people know like about you or anything, feel free.
Oh yeah, Badgie Boy TV on all platforms. Check it out. I'm hyped for this podcast. Watch a lot of TV, and that's about all it is.
So yeah, what you can expect is for sure we're gonna try to cover all the biggest shows out, and the goal is to just put out an episode once a week, but here and there we'll do episodes within the week of certain shows if we have the time. And we're gonna start watching and reviewing every episode of the Breaking Bad universe. So starting with this episode, we're gonna do the first pilot, which is Uno, and so look forward to that for those of you who are big fans like us. So we'll be breaking it down, giving our thoughts and all that. So yeah. So
Uh,
all right, let's
dude,
start.
so many shows ending, man.
I know, dude, it's crazy. You haven't even watched Ted Lasso yet, but let's start with
I
Barry.
I know, yeah.
Okay, so for you, Barry, you're late to the party with. Well, you got to witness it, and like the rest of us,
Yeah,
but you were
yeah.
late to the party, right? So
Yeah, I started in season 2,
when
and I was
season
able
two
to
was
watch
coming out?
season yeah, no. Right after like season 2 had fully aired. That's when I started. And then I watched through season 3 and season 4.
So
And
before we talk about the finale and the final season, give me just your overall thoughts, at least on the first three seasons of Barry. Like, what are your impressions?
I really enjoyed the first 3 seasons. And to be honest, it makes I don't know, season 4 felt kind of underwhelming compared to the rest.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
it has its moments. I think season four might have had some of the highest peaks, but some of the lowest lows. Like,
Yeah.
okay, let's talk about the finale, then we'll talk about this, the season as a whole and the show as a whole. So, what were your thoughts on the finale?
I thought the finale was great.
Is there
It
any
it
flaws with it?
was like I couldn't find any flaws in the finale now. I liked what they did. Everybody wanted action. They wanted him to go out John Wick, which that's not always necessary.
It's a big middle
You know.
finger when you think about it, because
Yeah.
the episode before, the way they tease Barry, him huffing and puffing, you see his
Hmm.
fucking sides flare up like he's fucking about to burst with
Yeah.
anger, and
It's like
then
a
it's
horror
like,
movie.
and then it opens with him like doing that, and like it's
Yeah.
like, oh fuck, like even I was like, bro, like I was like, dude, like Hank and his entire bloodline are about to get fucking wiped off like the face of the earth, and
My
no,
whole prediction was gone. When
yeah,
like I thought he was gonna go in there and kill everyone, and
like
Fuchs was gonna forgive him or something.
he did in season two.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on some of the criticisms that people have been giving the finale? Like some people said it's rushed. Let me see. But yeah, some people said it's rushed, and like they're just a lot of people are very unhappy with it. But I don't know. What do you think?
I don't see how I don't see it being like I don't think it's rushed. I don't see that. I think the finale it's just a lot of people like I said they wanted it to be a big shootout an action movie, but like it's not necessary. Like think if Better Call Saul season 1 was as action packed as Breaking Bad was. It wouldn't have worked.
It wouldn't have worked, no.
Yeah.
And the thing about the violence in Barry is that it's always been used to kind of prove a point. It's never been the point. Like the way that Barry has used violence, it's not flashy, it's not over the top, it's just raw violence. People die, there's no fuss, there's no
Yeah.
glamour to dying. Not everybody goes out like Walter and Felina,
Hmm.
or fucking John Marston in Red Dead 1. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Like death isn't like that. Death is death. You
No, yeah.
die.
What they did, I think, was through the entire series, Barry was forced to kill by Fuchs. In the end, Fuchs saved him from that.
Yeah. So some of the things people have been saying is, well, they're underwhelmed. They wanted Barry more involved in the final episode. They hated how he died. Even before that, they wanted a scene with him and Gene. And some other people were saying like it was rushed and some other stuff. Now, I do think season 4 was rushed, but I don't think the finale was rushed. Um, I definitely wasn't underwhelmed by the finale. Barry being more involved in the final episode, like a lot of people say they sidelined him, but I think that that's not how I look at it because Barry's impact was all over the final season. Literally everything that's
Yeah.
happening is because of Barry, because of the fear that people have in him. His actions, everything that Barry has done has led to the finale. While he may not be directly pushing the plot forward, he is the reason that the plot is moving forward.
Hmm.
Like,
He caused all of these stories.
yeah, yeah, and they're all kind of ending because of him. Like,
Yep.
maybe Hater didn't have as much screen time, and that's kind of an issue with the whole season. Is like Barry wasn't. He didn't have as much screen time as I would have liked, but maybe it's because Hater is just it's a lot of work to direct, to write, to star, to
Oh yeah.
produce. Maybe he wanted to take a backseat and explore Hank more, explore Fuchs more, Sally, even Jim Moss. Like it's a tough balancing act, but I think overall he did pull it off. But
Yeah. I
it,
think he did good.
so his death scene, I think we
I don't
all
know. Yeah. It was a little okay, I will be honest, it was a little underwhelming the way he died, just like, oh wow. It felt kind of comedic. But,
that's how a
you
lot
know,
of the death has been in the show though.
yeah, that's true.
And like a
That's
lot of his
true.
victims died like that. Like it's just
Yeah.
like they are in the middle of a thought and Barry just pops them. Like think back to the opening of season 3 where the that guy's digging the hole and they're like, you know what? Actually, I don't want to do this. Maybe we could just forget it, and then Barry just pops him.
Yeah, there's no
Like
forgiving Jeff.
yeah, yeah. It's just like that's kind of the way the violence has been displayed, and I think it's right in line with what Barry has shown us.
He went out like everybody else, you know. They
Yeah.
didn't give him no special treatment.
So I think one of the big messages or themes of Barry or questions is can people change? It's been asked time and time again. We've seen characters try to change time and time again. Barry, Fuchs, Gene, Gene, and I think, and accepting who you are, right? And I think that's one of the big reasons that Gene ended up with the worst fate is because he could not change. I actually thought he
Yeah,
had changed. Did you think he changed?
I did. Yeah, like in the beginning of the season, like when he's there, he's saying, "Oh, I don't want this movie because
I don't think
it's
I've
showing
yeah.
death."
I don't think I've ever been so upset with a character. Like I felt like a parent who saw his kid steal from the store. Like I was so disappointed in
Yeah,
Gene. The moment he heard Daniel Day Lewis is like, huh? And that whole scene, it's like how actually Mark Wahlberg, he wants to play Berkman, but he doesn't want to play a villain. And the way he just switched, well,
sympathetic soul.
Barry was an empathetic soul. He was
Yeah,
which it is true. Barry was sympathetic, but to us
yeah,
because we know what he's been through, he was sympathetic to a point, right? But people in that world don't know
yeah,
that, and it's just like the way he switched because he really wanted this movie to get made. I was like, this fucking guy is a sick fuck. Like I was so
yep.
upset. So in the end, Fuchs accepted who he was, and he changed, and he survived. Sally
Mhm.
accepted who she was. A terrible person, a terrible mother, and I don't want to say she got a happy ending, but she survived. Even in the very end, in his final moments, I think Barry changed. He
Yep.
finally was going to do the right thing. And while he died, because you can't outrun your actions, he was
Yeah.
rewarded in death. Where he
Yep.
wanted to be the hero, he wanted to be known as the good guy in the eyes of his son. And in the very end, that's what he got.
Yeah. That is. Yep. That's what he got. And I think like yeah, in the end, like he held it back for a little bit. He didn't want to accept
Yep.
who he was this whole time, but then
God has what was it? God has saved me, right, or spared me, right? Because
yeah,
he was ready to
yeah,
die. He was ready to die to save his
mhm.
boy. Um, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think yeah, you're right. In the end, he finally recognized his wrongs and he realized what he did to everybody around him, and he was going to pay for it. But
Just like in real life, sometimes you don't get a second chance, or in Barry's case,
yep,
like a 10th chance, right? Like he had
hmm
accepted what he had done, and he was willing to pay the consequences. But you don't always get to make your wrongs right, and he died for it. And I think I thought, okay, I knew Barry was going to do the right thing in the end, but I'm not saying that I knew that from the beginning of like the season. I mean, in that like the moment Gene had the gun and Barry walked in the house, what I thought was going to happen is that Barry realized his wrongs and he was going to do the right thing, but that Gene was going to pop himself. That's what I thought.
yeah,
I,
that's what I thought too. Yeah,
um, so I didn't expect Gene to do that. So there's no way in hell that Gene couldn't hear Barry agreeing to turn himself in, but I think Gene's kind of like ego and anger towards Barry is what was his ultimate downfall. Because if he would have just waited, everything
hmm
would have he would have been free. Like Barry
yeah,
would have confessed to everything, but I think he just felt like his life was ruined at that point, and he's just like, I'm just gonna take you with me.
yep, yep. And so the movie, also the movie, Barry's son watching the movie, and at the end that like smile. What did you think about that? Like, what did you think that
I
all meant to like this his son?
I think his son sees his father as a hero
Yeah, but
because,
he knows what actually happened in
but
that building when
but I think
like
that goes in line with what characters in Barry did to themselves the entire show. They're lying to
mhm,
themselves because
yeah,
he got the truth from Sally, but he's like Barry in his mind thinks he's a good person, but he knows he's doing so much bad shit. But which side does he choose to believe in? In his own
yeah,
delusions of being a good person or the bad person? And I think his son kind of did the same thing where this is his father. This is the real Barry in his eyes,
yep. He's getting what he wants. That's what he
basically.
wants to see in his father, but
But I do think
he
Barry
can't.
broke the cycle of violence though with his son. Like I think his son's gonna grow up to have a normal ish life, right? Like I think his
Yeah.
son will be grow up to be like a well adjusted kid. So I think overall his son got a happy ending. What you think about Sally? Sally's ending.
Sally's ending, it was interesting. She's finally a good mother. She can take care of her kid, I guess, kind of, you know. But like I think she might have changed from like who she was, that alcoholic, like insane.
So I don't think that okay. I don't think the alcoholism was who she was. I think she was using that to cope. I think her character was always like this narcissistic, self centered, self absorbed person. And I think in the end, like actually, I don't think Sally changed very much. I think the reason she was spared is because she admitted who she was. But if you
Yeah,
remember, she asked, like, her son tells her, "I love you, mom," and instead of saying "I love you" back, she's like, "What do you think of the performance?" Like she still wants that what do you call it, praise. She wants that praise.
yeah,
She's still insecure. She's still self centered, and I don't think she's a good mother. I think she's acting. Like I think she's found her passion through this role, which is being a mother. It's the ultimate role. She has to act every
yeah.
day. Like I don't think she became a better person by the end of it. To be honest, I think she might be hiding it better.
I see what you mean there. Yeah. Now that you say it,
She's
yeah.
a great character. It's crazy that like that out of the serial killer in Barry, the narcissistic piece of shit in Fuchs who uses the death of his girlfriend to for gain, Sally's like the most hated. I think Sally's
Yeah.
probably like the most realistic kind of and down to earth, but it's just kind of like she's annoying, so she's a bitch. But it's like it's just kind of fucked up that she is the one who got a lot of hate, but um What you think of Fuchs, man? I dude, Breaking Bad vibes, man. Felina vibes from
Oh,
that final
dude,
stare down,
it,
dude.
it was the most obvious like reference I've ever seen. He tackles the kid, holds him down, saving him from the bullets, like Walter White does to Jesse. Then that nod at the end, literally that
Yeah,
was that,
yeah.
I loved that. That
It
was
was,
funny.
dude. Oh, we haven't even talked about NoHo. Dude, we haven't even talked about the interaction with NoHo, Hank, and Fuchs. Okay, whew. Okay, so that was one of the clearest indicators of the themes of Barry, where Fuchs is like, I accept who I am. I know what I am.
Yeah.
And, he wanted Hank to own up to what he did. And
Hmm.
Hank couldn't accept what he had done. And
Yep.
that caused him to die. Like it's
Yep.
another one of those things. Like he couldn't accept who he was. And I think him being this gangster was a facade the whole time, right? To hide his grief for
Hmm.
Cristobal. And I saw something. I mean, I don't know if it was obvious to you, or maybe you thought about it, but I think Hank was really scarred by season 3 when he was locked up and he hears people getting torn to shreds by that tiger.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that scarred him, and that's what led to his actions in season 4, where he told Fuchs, "I just wanted to be protected or feel safe," right?
Mhm.
And I think that when you think back on Barry, I think that's been a big part of Hank's character, where that's what his attraction was to Barry. And I don't mean attraction in like the sexual sense, right? He felt like Barry was someone who could protect him, and that's why he
Yeah.
wanted to bust Barry out of prison, because he wanted Barry to protect him and Cristobal. And I think that fear of or that wanting for protection is what caused him to betray Cristobal, because he wanted to feel protected by his mafia family.
Yeah. I
But
think NoHo Hank was born into the wrong group. Like he wants to just be like a normal guy. He's kind of like he's not like a hard ass. He's not like the rest of them, you know.
I gotta disagree. We love Hank. He's goofy and adorable, but bro, he was an assassin. That's what he was when we meet
Yeah.
him. Like this guy has probably killed people. But no, I get what you're saying. Like he's not like the rest of them, right? But at the end
Yeah.
of the day, he kind of is, dude. He got the love of his life killed. It's one of those things like watching Dexter or even like Walter White kill a criminal. It's like, yeah, they're a criminal and they don't mean nothing to him. But the tides turn in how you feel about Walter or Dexter when he, maybe not Dexter. I don't think he ever killed anybody innocent, but like when Walter let Jane die, right?
Hmm.
You're like, that was one of those moments where I was like, oh, wow, like watching that, and I felt that way about Cristobal, like that changed my outlook on Hank, where he let Cristobal die, or kind of sanctioned the hit, almost like
Yeah. He
he
allowed it
let.
to happen. Yeah.
I don't know, but that whole scene with Fuchs and Hank was just, it was beautiful, man. And
Mhm.
I, what you think of Hank's final moments, man? Like him reaching out for Cristobal, was it a little too sappy, or you liked it?
I liked it. I thought it was cool. It was I thought it was perfect. I liked it what they did there.
Yeah, he had a great ending, man. And Fuchs too, man. And I like, God, such great cinematography. He, after him and Barry have that, like, that acknowledgement, he runs back into the darkness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it's just great little subtle moments like that where we don't know where Fuchs is going, but it's probably nowhere good. Like
Yeah.
he, did you ever think Fuchs, like, did you believe Fuchs wanted to kill Barry? Were you of that mindset, like he wants to kill him?
I don't think he did. He never does.
He
In the end, he always is like, no, I don't actually want to do
just
this.
like Walter and Jesse, man, dude. The
Yeah.
parallels are there. And then I don't know if you saw an interview with Hader where he was talking about the time skip, but he took a lot of inspiration from Better Call Saul as well. Like, the Breaking Bad influences are there all over the place. Like, I love to see it, man. It's good
Yeah.
stuff.
It's
Okay,
yeah. It's a very good show.
so finale ranking out of 10. What do you give it?
The Barry finale. Um, I'd have to give it a 9.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a 9 as well, because I guess this issue will be kind of an issue with season 4. But so before I give mine, like, or the reasoning for my 9 is because, okay, so obviously for me, some of the issues have been that the pacing has felt rushed this season. Like, I know before, 30-minute episodes, but I feel like it went by so much smoother and there was less coincidences in this one. One of my big issues here, and an example of like rush pacing, was Barry escaping Jim Moss's house. Um,
Yeah,
Jim Moss literally is like a mountain of a man,
hmm
incredibly high
he's like the
intellect.
Mike Ehrmantraut
Yeah,
of Barry.
incredibly high intellect. He understands the human psyche. He knows how to break people to the point where they'll kill themselves. Right?
Hmm
This guy's IQ and intellect is next level. So you're telling me that he left a serial killer tied up in his garage with only rope right next to a knife. I think it's
Yep.
it's one of those things called convenient storytelling where we need to get to the next episode. How are we going to get Barry out of this situation? Well, I guess Jim Moss is just going to run off and there's a knife right there. So,
And he just happens to be in a chair that's like not bolted to the ground or anything.
right, dude. And it's like it's one of those things where I'm just like, man, this is too easy. So this is one of the reasons I didn't talk about Barry until the finale, because there was a theory going on that what if this is all in Barry's head, or we're watching the Barry Berkman biopic movie, and that would make sense. Like, oh, it's a movie. This is why he got out so easily. But no, it wasn't. And Jim Moss is too smart to do
Hmm
something like that. And another thing
Yeah.
that didn't sit right with me is just how easily they wanted to pin everything on Gene. Like, there was no pushback, there was
Mhm.
no kind of struggle. It's just like, oh yeah, Gene was behind it all. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I think, yeah, like it was a little pushed how they just instantly accused Gene by like the slightest thing, just because he's
No,
like,
not
oh
even accused. No, it wasn't
yeah,
an accusation. It was, you did it. Like, you know what I mean?
yep, yeah, just because he said Barry was like a sympathetic soul, they instantly thought, oh no no no, it's Gene who did this, you know, and also, I had a few problems with season 4
Yeah,
as
go ahead.
well.
I want to hear him. Go ahead.
Um, Okay, I don't know if you feel the same, but I think Fugues and NoHo Hank's rivalry just felt like out of nowhere. Like it was just there to add action to season 4.
Okay, where did Fuchs and Hank leave off in season 3? What exactly? Fuchs got captured.
I don't think they were enemies in like at the end of season 3. I don't. I might be wrong though. I don't know, but
No,
I don't
I
think so.
I I agree with you because, okay, like, the payoff of their dynamic was great.
Yeah,
But the reason their dynamic started in season 4 is kind of like,
it felt like it was put there to add action to the season 4 because Barry wasn't going around killing everybody anymore. So I think they added that to have the action that the other seasons had.
yeah, because now that you mention it, it's like, why exactly did they strike up this kind of like rivalry, or why did Fuchs all of a sudden just want Hank to admit these things about himself? Like, what does Fuchs
Yeah,
care? You know,
yeah,
like like the payoff of it was good, right?
mm,
But like kind of how we got there, like I get that. So Hank was basically rewarding Fuchs for not ratting on him, right? I think that's
mhm.
how the relationship in season 4 started. Obviously, they already had a relationship prior, but in season
Yeah,
4, that's how it started. It's like, once you get out of jail, I'll take care of you. And then Fuchs was this
yeah,
big boss, and he wants Barry, and Hank doesn't know where he's at. And then I
hmm
guess I guess it started with it started with Fuchs's comment about Cristobal. That felt
and
natural to
like
me, to be
I think
honest.
it would have worked. I think like it would have worked, and it did work. But I feel like it would have worked better if they were rivals through the whole series than to just suddenly in 1 minute become stone cold enemies and they just want to kill each other. Like I don't know, it just
Okay,
didn't work.
now you know what, dude. I gotta give you some pushback on that, because now that I think about it, everybody's having a good time. And Fuchs hit a sore spot when he brought up Cristobal,
Yeah.
how he said, "You got him killed, right?" And you know, Hank was still in denial, and I think Hank is the one who threw away the relationship after that, where he's like, "Get the fuck out of my house." I think
Yeah.
that's how it started. Which,
Yeah, but I
you
don't think
know,
Fuchs meant it in like an insulting way. He meant it like, hey,
you're a fucking stone cold killer, bro.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like, yeah, I know, but you know, it'd be like, you know, if you know, like one of your family members died, and it's still a sore spot, and I'm like, you know, hey man, or if I brought up your family member, you know, like, don't fucking talk
yeah. I
about
see where
that.
you're coming from. Yeah,
Like, actually, you know, I gotta be honest. Like, now that I think about it, I don't know, man. I don't know because that like was something that hurts
especially
that
if
bad
someone was blaming you for
when
someone you loved death.
when you're in denial about it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it works. Now that I think about it, like I do think it works. But what is kind of one of those things like why was Fuchs so fixated on NoHo Hank kind of like coming to terms with what he did? You know what I mean? Like that I don't get.
yeah,
Like I'm trying to think.
yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, so no, but it's definitely like I see where you're coming from with that. But one thing is like maybe smarter people than me can explain it. Like, what was Fuchs's fascination with kind of Barry coming to or Hank coming to grips with what he had done? Because like I get that Fuchs went through this transformation where he's like I accept who I am, but what is it about like
I guess maybe he was trying to inspire him to like do what he did to accept. I
why?
don't know. I don't. I don't know. Just because maybe he didn't want to work with him if he doesn't want to accept who he is.
I don't think
Like,
Fuchs cares about like who he works with as long as they pay or give him what he needs. But no, no, I it's definitely like I'm trying to think like why Fuchs would care so much, but it's like I just don't see it. Maybe he's just trying to hurt Hank because he knows that hurts Hank. You know, like that's a sore spot for
yeah,
him. Maybe. But yeah. So that what other issues did you have? The time jump.
I think that's about all. Like, I didn't mind the time jump. The time jump, it didn't bother me. I thought it was interesting. It added like it brought my interest back into the
Mm-hmm.
show. I was starting to kind of get a little bored of the same old thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it cut to something completely different.
That's another issue too, man. Why did Jim Moss leave? Um, what's her name? Barry's wife. Uh,
Sally.
why did he leave so easily? Like, oh, she's home alone. Like she got home and no one's with her. Let me leave.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, okay, because the way they built up Jim Moss, man, it's like this is the guy. You know, this ain't
Hmm.
no fucking dumb cop. Like this is like he is him. He is Timothy Chalamet, bro. Like this is him. You
Yeah.
know,
I
and
think
like
that was just one of those things where it was supposed to be like funny. Like, oh, he was asleep and he woke up, seen Sally go in, and he just like, oh shit, and then
was
he
he asleep?
leaves.
He woke up when she got home. Is that
I
what it was?
think was he? Maybe I was wrong. I don't know.
But
But I do remember some scene where he was asleep
the
watching.
the fact that he just left, like he didn't
Yeah.
bother waiting. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's convenient. Like, oh,
Mhm.
Jim left and Barry was there the whole time. Let's go. Jim's
And
gone.
that happens a lot in Barry. Like a lot of times, it's just something lucky happens.
No,
It just so happens to
and
like.
no, but the thing is, okay, the thing is with the luck in the previous seasons is you had cops who were portrayed as idiots. Jim Moss was
Yeah.
not portrayed as an idiot. This guy was
Yeah.
portrayed as the fucking Terminator. You know, like
Mhm.
Jim Moss from season 3 would have fucking broken Barry, dude, instantly. But Jim Moss in season 4 is a little different. Um,
Yeah, I don't think he would have left. I think he would have
That's
stayed
another
there.
thing, dude. It's like I just don't understand. Okay, so do you believe that Jim Moss, at that moment when he heard about the money in his mind, he came to the conclusion Gene was behind it? Is that how you see it, or it took him a
Yeah,
minute? Okay,
I think instantly he thought it was Gene because
okay.
he ran off. You know,
Do you believe he was going to kill Barry, slowly torture him, or get Barry to kill
I
himself?
I think I think he was gonna try and make Barry like actually feel bad for his actions, and then send him to prison or something.
Okay, now that because I'm with you. I think at that moment, oh, Gene, it was Gene all along. Okay, then what's the point of keeping Barry in his garage? If Barry was Barry in his mind, Barry isn't innocent. He still killed his daughter, but he was
I guess he
manipulated
wanted
by
to
Gene.
double check. I think he wanted to double check and make sure.
I think at that point, I think he would have turned Barry in. He would have taken Barry with him and dropped him at the police station, or even taken him to be in that room when they captured Gene or tricked Gene.
That's true.
Like things.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that would have made more sense if he would have taken him into the room with Gene, so he could get both sides of the story,
Yeah,
put them together, and figure it
dude,
out.
Gene broke that one reporter so hard he had him speaking fucking German, and he didn't even know German.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it just doesn't make sense that Gene would leave a fucking serial killer, ex-marine, fucking combat specialist alone, with a
yeah,
knife in the room. And
yeah,
I had a friend tell me, well, is it possible that he was maybe emotional? When people are emotional, they make mistakes. When has he ever been emotional? Never.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, he hasn't showed any emotion yet.
it was just, I
You
think
know.
it was too convenient. I think convenient storytelling is what I think. It was just an easy way out to move the plot forward to get to the finale. It's one of those things like, oh man, let's just take this and push it. We got to get to this finale. We only have 30
Hmm.
minutes. I think
Hmm.
there could have been better ways of Barry escaping. Um,
Yeah,
but it was just too easy. And I know things have happened in the prior seasons of Barry that were too easy. Like in season one with that stupid meathead former Marine that everything got pinned on. He's a
yeah. I
fucking he's
forgot
a
his name.
he's a
Yeah,
fucking idiot. Like it makes sense that it would
yep,
get pinned on him. But this stuff that happened with Moss, I don't buy it, dude. I don't buy
yeah.
it, and that was a major issue for me. Yeah, but besides that, I think a lot of the character work was good. NoHo Hank, at first, I thought his turn came kind of quick, but then when I started seeing some breakdowns of it, like I said, he was heavily affected by the season
Hmm.
3 finale and what happened. Or it might have not even been season 3. I think he freed him in the prior episode, but whatever, right? Regardless, that really,
Yeah,
dude, his acting in the season 3, whatever, 7 or 8 episode, when he's behind that wall and you hear that lion ripping up that guy,
yeah. That was good acting. Yeah,
yeah, that would scar me too. And I think
you're
that's
right
what,
there with him the whole time. Like you're
yeah,
feeling what he's feeling.
it's fucking incredible, dude.
Yeah.
You have you finished season 2 of Ted Lasso, right?
Yes, I
Can you
finished season
can you
2.
believe Bill Hader lost to Jason Sudeikis? He lost the Emmy that year.
Okay, wait. Who's Jason
The
Sudeikis? Is
guy who
that Ted
plays,
Lasso?
yeah, he's the guy who plays Ted. I mean, he's great, but dude,
Yeah,
I don't know how he wins it over Bill Hader, dude.
yeah. I don't know about that. Yeah, because season 3 of Barry was like
I think that's the
the
best
best
season.
season.
Okay, let's rank
Yeah,
them.
that's the best season.
Give me your ranking. Oh wait,
Okay,
wait, wait, wait. Okay, as a whole, season 4 of Barry as a whole, what's your ranking?
season 4 of Barry as a whole. My ranking, it's the lowest of all of them, so I have to think what my ranking of the rest of them are first. Then I can think of what I think season 4 is. So I'd have to say Okay, I'm gonna start by season 1.
Okay.
Compared to I think season 1 was better than season 2. I think. I don't know.
I don't know how
It's
to feel
very
about that.
close.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very close. I might have to rewatch it to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
sure
me
because I've
too.
only watched it
Oh, I
once.
can't wait to rewatch this.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to say season 1. I think from my memory was a little bit better than season 2.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
It's
say
not like it's a crazy thing to say either,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So season 1, I'm gonna give it. It wasn't like perfect,
Right, right.
When I first watched season 1, I wasn't. I mean, addicted to it
Mm-hmm.
like Breaking Bad. But I'd have to give it probably a 6.5 or a 6. A 6. I'd say a 6.
Out of 10?
Yes. Yeah. Is that crazy?
I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's a lot better than that. But hey, you're entitled to your
Season
rankings.
1. Okay.
No,
That's
you're
just season 1.
yeah, of course. You're entitled
Okay.
to your rankings, man. But
I give it a 6, maybe a
Okay.
6.5.
Okay.
And then season 2, I'm gonna give season 1 a 6.5. I'm gonna give season 2 a 6. And I'm gonna give season 3. I think was like very good. I mean, I was
Yeah.
blown away by season
Yeah,
3.
dude. Seriously.
So I think I'm gonna have to give season 3 a 9,
Okay.
especially with that ending.
Yeah, dude.
Season 4,
Season.
I'm
Hold
gonna
up, hold
have
up,
to
hold up, hold up,
give.
hold up. Season 3 is ending, man. God damn, dude. Whew, one of the best cliffhangers of all time,
Dude,
dude.
yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
that was
Continue.
insane.
Continue.
But
Sorry.
see, no, actually, now that I think of it, it'd be crazy to put season 4 lower than 6. So no, I have to change my rating because that would be insane. Okay, that's like okay. No, season 1, I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Okay.
No, no, no. I'm gonna give it an 8.
This is why I don't do numbers.
Dude, it's so hard. Okay. I'm gonna give it an 8. Season 1, 8. Season 2, 7.5.
Hmm.
Season 4, 7. Season 3, 9.
Okay. All right. So for me, like I said, I like to do television by tiers because for me personally, it's hard to condense a whole season into one number because you might have an episode that's like a 5 out of 10, but later because of what we learn later in season, that episode gets
Yeah.
bumped up because of the importance. So this is why I like to do tiers. So for me, season 1 is like A tier. It's like high A tier. Season 2 is S. Season 3 is S. Season 4, I'm still gonna give A tier. So and for me, season 3 is on top, then 2, then 1, and then probably 4. But I think some of the best character work probably got done in 4. Like I said, the peaks of season 4 are insanely high. Like, like,
I don't know. I think season 3 had the best character work.
you think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think it had the most like emotions. Like
Yeah,
I
you're not
mean,
wrong.
certain scenes in season 3 had me like tearing up. Like especially like when that guy, his friend, I forgot his name,
Albert?
is holding him at gunpoint. Yeah,
Yeah.
Albert. Yeah,
And that
he's holding
Barry
him at
slowly
gunpoint.
breaking down, dude. By then, Barry was so gone mentally. Like
Hmm.
like I said, the opening of season 3, the way he just so nonchalantly kills those two guys.
Yeah, and I
Like,
feel really bad for Barry, dude.
yeah,
I probably shouldn't, but I do
yep, he's a piece of shit.
because he doesn't want to kill. He's just
But
forced
he
to
can't
like the
change his
entire.
nature. That's one of those things about
Yeah,
Barry. Like, can you change your nature? Or
yeah.
trying to break the cycle of violence. But
Mhm.
no, no. I think it's close because like it's hard to compete with endings, and all the characters had great endings. So that's why. But okay, But I do. So we're in agreement. Season 4 might be the worst season. But that's like not
Yeah,
even like I hate to use the word worse because that
I
a lot of
know
people think
because
it's
it's
better.
not a bad season.
It's
Yeah,
still
it's a
better
good
than most
season.
television on right now.
Mhm.
All right. So that was Barry, people. Whew, man, lot to say. Succession.
Yes,
Let's go. Let's get into it.
Succession.
Okay, first
Wow,
let's start with the finale. Go for it.
wow.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, not what I was expecting,
Mm-mm.
but not in a bad way,
Yeah.
in a good way. It wasn't what I was expecting in a good way. I really liked what they did, like Tom's ending, and like
Hmm.
I think why. Okay, I have to ask you this: why do you think Shiv changed her mind in the end? I think she changed her mind in the end because she didn't want to accept that her brother was gonna win.
Oh
I think
yeah.
she didn't. Yeah,
And
she didn't want to like. She. It was ego. It was kind of
oh,
ego.
dude, absolutely. Look,
Yeah.
man. One thing that I've been getting pissed off about that I think is so fucking idiotic is I've seen people say, "Oh, you know, Shiv realized that Kendall was becoming her dad, so she wanted to
No.
spare Kendall from a life." Like, man,
No.
that face she made when she said, "You killed someone."
Yeah.
That said it
Yeah.
all
That was
right.
ego.
That said it
Yeah.
all right there, and it's like I'm like, are we watching a different fucking show? Like, no, that
Yeah.
point about Shiv or Theory fucking pisses me off, dude. And that she wanted to spare him from becoming his father. Man, if you don't get the fuck out of here with it, that is so dumb, dude.
Yeah. That
No,
that was like no.
pure
Mhm.
ego, and I think she does. Okay, no, first and foremost was ego, and fuck my brother, right?
Mhm.
But secondly, but I'm talking about like that. Like what what pushed her decision. Ego is up here, right?
Mhm.
Next, which is down here, I would say is probably like, she does love Tom, and she would rather have him be in charge than Kendall. You know,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
right under that, I would say that's where she can have the most influence because
Mhm.
although the power dynamic has shifted in the relationship, she does have a direct ear or line to the head of Waystar now, right? Which is Tom,
Yeah.
and they have the baby, and but I don't know, but the power dynamic has shifted, so I don't think that's really in her mind. A lot of people say I've seen some reviews say that out of everyone, she ended up with the most power because she's with the boss now. But it's like Tom's in charge now.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
can tell though, dude, the way he's just like not even looking at her and just
Dude, things switched. Okay, you look a few seasons back, you have Tom. He's pretty much Shiv's I don't want to say, but he's like Shiv's bitch,
yeah,
kind of.
oh yeah, no,
And it
he's
switched.
he's the Greg to Shiv.
Yep,
That
he
so
turned it all the way
Right.
around.
So look, this is one of those things. I don't claim to know everything or to be the smartest guy in the room, but I just at first I was just like, what the fuck is up with Tom being such a dick to Greg? I
Yeah,
just like this guy's a fucking
and you
dick.
see how he's treated,
Exactly. It
you
took
know.
me a minute to catch on that. Oh, almost every time that Shiv did something fucked up to him, he took it out on Greg. So it's like
Mhm.
he was the Greg to the relationship, but now, like, dude, you can tell
Yep.
the moment the board decision goes through and he walks in that room, he's walking with his head held up high, his chest out. Oh, thank you. And
Mhm.
and then the way he goes to Shiv, I have a car running. Do you want like the way he's speaking, like the power dynamic, and even before that, before Tom even knew he was going to be the CEO, the power dynamic had shifted when Shiv told him like, um, uh, you know, would you still maybe want to have a real relationship? And the power dynamic completely shifted when he said, I don't know. Because he doesn't need her anymore.
Yeah.
She needs him,
Yeah.
for her emotional issues. He does not need her. And now that he's the CEO, like, yeah. So, fuck Shiv. I'm happy that she got the ending she did.
Yep.
She probably did the right thing from not letting Kendall have power. Because do you think Kendall would have done a good job? Or what do you think?
I think Kendall wouldn't have necessarily been a bad CEO. I don't think he. I think he would have done decent. I don't think he would have been Logan.
No.
I don't
There's
think he
only
would
one
have.
Logan.
Yeah, but I think he wouldn't have been the worst choice. Like out of everyone, he's the one I've seen the most a CEO. I think.
Yeah.
And
So before we move on, right, since we're talking about Shiv and Tom, any other thoughts on Shiv and Tom for their endings?
not really. I think. I think that just Tom turned it completely around, and
Oh,
that's
here's
the end.
another thing. Do you buy into this kind of theory or talking point that Shiv is kind of becoming her mother? She's gonna be married to the head of a powerful company. She's gonna be basically a trophy wife, stay at home, who's gonna neglect her kids. Like, do you kind of buy into that
You
notion?
know, I didn't really think about that, but I don't think she's gonna neglect her kids. I think that's all she's got now.
I don't know,
I
dude.
don't know.
She. I
I don't
mean,
know.
I don't think she's gonna be a good mother because it's something that Kendall said. Maybe the poison drips through, and I think the poison might drip through her to be a bad mother, just like her mother was. Because a,
Yeah,
a lot of this is familial trauma, dude, like generational trauma, passed down to the kids, and I think they're passing it down to their kids, and I don't think anybody really got a happy ending, to be honest, except Tom. But even
yeah.
Tom, like, he has the title, but he's
But he's
still
kind of like a puppet
no. It's not
in the
kind
end.
of. He is,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah. He's
basically gonna be Greg now for Matson. He's
but
trying.
he's gonna be earning millions
Yeah,
while
which
doing that.
so I
So
think Tom. A good thing about Tom is that Tom wasn't motivated by power. He was
mhm,
motivated by status and by money. Because he said as
yeah,
much when I believe it was during the pre-election party when they had that fight on the balcony, and he straight up honest like, Shiv, I like my nice watches, my nice
Yeah,
clothes. I'm just being
yeah.
honest. He
Through
felt
the
that.
whole series, I
Yeah,
think was it season 1 or season 2? He takes Greg out and he shows him like what it's like
like
to
to be
be
rich,
rich.
because Tom.
Yeah,
I don't want to say Tom started in the hood because he came from a good family, right? But
yeah. He just wants to be rich.
he definitely had to climb and scratch and crawl to get high. Although he definitely was not born poor. He was born into a good family, but he had to
Yeah.
work his way up versus Shiv, who got everything handed to him. So Tom knows what it's like to not be rich, and he'll fight. He'll fucking slit your throat to hold on to what he has. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's why he made it so far. And he didn't let his ego get in the way. Oh, Logan wants to, needs a punching bag. I'm it.
Mm-hmm.
Matson wants to fuck my wife, and he's telling me to my face, I want to fuck her. No, no, that's not an issue. We're all men. Logan needs a fucking dummy to go to jail. I'll do it, Logan.
Yep.
Like he
I'm
literally.
so proud of Tom though. The one thing that makes me proud in the end is that he didn't tear apart Greg. He said, "I got you."
Did you
That
think?
made me
Did
proud.
you think he was gonna kick Greg to the curb?
I thought he was. I thought he was going to leave Greg like with nothing.
Greg got a.
Like,
Greg got the worst ending, bro. He got the
yeah.
worst ending because Greg was gonna be given like what, 150 mil by his grandfather,
Yep.
and his grandfather gave the money away, and now Greg is gonna be stuck being Greg to Tom forever, basically. Like,
Yeah, but I'm happy he didn't leave Greg with
no, me
nothing,
too,
you know.
me too. Yeah, it was one of those things, but like, you could tell like the ego is there because the way he put that
Mhm.
sticker on him, it's like you're my bitch.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. I think Greg got one of the worst endings, dude. Because
Oh
he,
yeah.
he lost 150 mil because he chose to go with Logan. Logan's dead, and now he's still gonna be Greg. He's gonna be Gregging for Tom.
You know what was a crazy coincidence? Okay, now I remember watching your TikTok, you saying like Greg kind of lost his purpose a little bit
He did,
halfway
but
through this, but then an episode or so later
later,
they
I
brought it
know,
back.
I know, dude, I know. Yeah, literally, like I
Yeah.
was thinking the same shit. I'm like, man, see, this is why I don't like giving episodes reviews. Like on my
Yeah.
serial lives, like I wait until the entire season is complete before I drop a review. And this is exactly
Yeah.
why, dude, because something that seems useless or whatever ends up having the biggest, like, that
Mhm.
swings the whole fucking show. Greg swung the whole show. When
Yeah.
he ratted out first, he ratted out Shiv, and
Mhm.
then he basically ratted out that Madsen was not gonna choose Shiv. So it's like,
Yeah.
so he swung these things in so many different directions. So see, this is
He
why.
caused so much in those last few episodes.
Yeah, yeah. So that
Like,
this is why I try not to get ahead of myself, dude.
yeah. Now, can we talk about how freaking scary Kendall was in the
Dude.
final episode?
Yeah, you
Like,
were texting me about that, dude. He was like a fucking child, dude, throwing a temper tantrum. But like, did
yeah,
he put
but
hands
as
on
an
Shiv?
adult,
Did he put?
uh, I don't think he put hands on Shiv.
Dude, I thought.
Wait, actually,
Have you
wait,
seen the
no,
show?
yeah, he grabbed her
Yeah.
when she was gonna
And
leave.
then and
Yeah,
then what's his name? Roman was like, bro, she's pregnant, right, or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
Have you seen Game of
What? Why do
Thrones?
you think?
Hold on, hold on.
No, I have not seen Game of
Oh
Thrones.
no, the have you ever seen any of the deaths?
The deaths
Yeah.
of Game of Thrones?
There's
No,
one where a guy gets Oberyn Martell gets his face fucking crushed in by some guy's hands. I was like, is Kendall about to cave in Roman's skull? Like,
bro. And before that, even when Roman was like saying, "Okay, I'm not sure I want to do this," he gets him and he puts him on his shoulder, and he kind of makes it look like he's trying to care for him, but he's splitting the scar on his eye. I think he did that on purpose. I think he
so
was
I
trying to hurt him.
so I've seen different interpretations of that scene. Um, he knows that Roman doesn't want it, but
Yeah,
Roman needs an out. Like he needs a way to say, "Oh, this is why I can't chase the CEO seat. Like I can't because of," and I think that's why he split him open. Or I think
Yeah.
you can look at it two ways. You can look at it like Roman was trying to brush up against him a little hard too, like to bust himself open because
He's
uh,
so used to pain.
he's so used
Like
to pain, and that's kind of how he gets off. I'm not saying he was going to get off to his brother hurting him, but this is how he feels love. This is what love is to him.
they're
It's
so
pain.
strange. Everybody's so strange in this
Well,
show.
when your father's Logan Roy, bro, what do you expect?
Yeah.
You're gonna be
Yeah.
fucked up in the head. But
Yeah.
I think it was Kendall giving him an out because he even told Shiv he doesn't want it, but he just can't say it. You know,
Yeah.
and but you could be right. Maybe this was Kendall saying because Kendall had basically become Logan at that point. And what's the next step of being Logan? Hitting Roman, or
Yeah. I
like
think he was trying to like wrestle him into submission with by pulling that scar.
you could be
Like
right.
the
I think it's a bit of both, dude. I think it could be an element of both.
Mhm.
Okay. Thoughts on we'll save Kendall for last. Thoughts on Roman.
Roman. Yeah, I kind of felt bad for him in the end, because like he he recognized in the end right there. He recognized that we're just kids playing dress up. We're just running around trying to pretend that we're all gonna be CEO.
They proved
That
Logan
we're
right.
all. Yep.
They are not serious people.
Nope. Yeah. They're
Uh
just kids still.
um I think in terms of like emotional damage, I think he got off the best because he
Yeah.
finally grieved his father. He kind of finally
He
gave
doesn't
up,
have to sit on it like Shiv and Kendall are gonna be doing for like probably the rest of their lives. They're gonna be sitting there pouting about it.
but he's still empty because he
Yep.
lost Jerry, he lost his dad, he lost Kendall. Like who does
Yeah.
he have left? Like
But I think now he can move on.
they're
I think he can move on though.
I think out of well, move on from losing Waystar, sure, but move on from his
Yeah.
fucked up emotional issues, I don't know, because his
I don't know about that
emotional
one.
issues might be the worst. Maybe not. I don't
Yeah.
know. Kendall's fucked up.
He is.
But
He is.
that smile at the end, like kind of like a, I took it as like a smile of relief. It's over. Like I think like I said, he didn't want it. I don't think he wanted that CEO position. So I
Yeah,
think
he's the most real out of all of them. I think he's the one that's not like a He's not posing to be anything.
he
He's just
was though. That's the thing.
being him.
He was being a poser. He was trying to
He
be his
was.
father. Like he was trying to be his father. Like remember that episode with the election where he was like trying to
Oh
be like his
yeah.
dad. He was assertive. The way he was fucking firing Jerry. Like he was trying to be his father, but he was just not cut out for it. And I think he realized it.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
never wanted Waystar. He wanted to get what's the word? Approval from his dad. Like I think that's what he really wanted. And when he realized his father was finally gone, I think he kind of accepted like, this isn't for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, that's about all I have for Roman. I think in the end he recognized what it really was, what they all really were.
Yeah, I
Even though
think
Kendall and Shiv don't want to recognize it, he did.
he got off the best for sure.
Mhm.
All right, now Kendall. What were your thoughts on Kendall?
My thoughts on Kendall, I think so. First, in the beginning, I kind of felt bad that he finally, the family, like the siblings, finally all came together.
I knew that wasn't gonna
Yeah,
last. I think we all knew it was.
yeah.
Uh, we
I
all
I
knew that
did
wasn't
know
gonna
that.
last.
Yeah, yeah. I did know it wasn't gonna last, but he thought it was,
Yeah,
and I kind of felt bad when it all fell apart right there at the end. But like, he was terrifying in that episode. I thought
yeah.
he was scary. Like,
I
I'm the eldest boy, and grabbing Rowan, that shit had me terrified.
Yeah, I'm the like throwing a fucking tantrum. I'm the
Yeah,
eldest boy. It's my birthright. Like
because
what the fuck?
a child throwing a tantrum, but now he's a full grown adult with
Who
power,
can get away with murder?
throwing, yeah, throwing a child tantrum.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay. I haven't seen anybody talk about this, but I want your thoughts on this. Um. Did you think Kendall was gonna drown when he went to go swim?
I did.
Okay. After that, when they talked about murdering him, did you think there was a chance that they could kill him or nah? Like you just thought they were
No,
talking shit, dude. I
I
don't
think they
know,
were just joking.
dude. I was on edge, bro. I was like, are they gonna drown him? Like, cause it could be an accident. And then I was still on the edge when they were all in the kitchen. Like, are they gonna fucking poison him? Like I swear, dude, I was like on edge, bro. Like I guess maybe I just
They seemed a little strange, but I don't know. I just couldn't see like Shiv and Roman doing something so over the top is like doing that.
I
I
just
just don't know if
I read
I
that.
would have liked that ending. If they did do that, I didn't think the writers would do that. You know,
Did you think the writers would kill Logan in episode 3?
you got me there.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But okay, yeah, that's just me then. That's on me. Um, that scene where Logan, that video of Logan was really sad to watch, man.
Oh, I teared up on that
You
scene,
know, you
bro.
know what
It
I,
was
you know what I was thinking the whole time. Like, when did the kids ever get that side of Logan?
yeah.
You know what I
Through
mean?
the whole series, he's just the Logan we know. We all
Yeah,
know.
and
We
like,
didn't even get that side of Logan.
yeah, it makes you wonder, like when did he ever show this level of warmth and kindness, like to his kids? And then
Mhm.
I like how the moment he switched back to normal Logan was I forget who it was, but someone brought up something about work, and then he's you fuck off or something like that, and then after that it was
Yeah.
all ruined. But yeah, that was sad watching that. Um, the craziest part about everything is that Kendall completed the transformation to become his father, and he got nothing for it. Like
Yep.
he became manipulative. He was cleaning up after the mistakes of his kids, like when he stepped up, after Roman fucked up. He manipulated Roman, telling him, "You fucked up. You fucked the deal."
Yep.
He began to kind of be an asshole to his wife, and he was gonna like take the kids from her, only to
He
ignore them.
even dressed like Logan.
Yep.
Like in the final episode, he was wearing the exact same
hmm
clothes.
Yeah, like how Logan started wearing that kind of business casual with the suit jacket open, and he looks so
Yep.
much like Logan, dude, and
Yeah.
adopting his mannerisms and this and that, um, and then to the point of abusing Roman and like all that for nothing.
Yep.
He sold his soul to the devil for nothing, and
Yeah, and it's very sad, but he deserved it.
were you expecting suicide?
I was.
I
I
don't.
was.
I honestly didn't know. What would
When
that have been a good end to his character?
I wouldn't have hated it,
Yeah.
I mean, it would have made sense, it would have worked.
Yeah.
It would have made complete sense if it actually did happen in the end, which we
I don't
don't know
think.
if it did.
Yeah, we don't know, but he's definitely gonna be. I think he's gonna slip back into his drug habit, man. I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so his ending, very fitting. Again, it was like his father's final moments. One of the final shots of Logan that we see is him walking out to that same pier, I think, with Colin, the bodyguard, behind him,
Hmm.
watching him. Like, I think it's very fitting that Kendall got that same ending. And him and his relationship with Water has always been kind of like a big point of the show. But I think Kendall is the most devastated, I think, out of the three
Oh
kids.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
A very
it's
fitting
like
end.
it's a real. I don't want to compare something funny, but have you watched Kung Fu Panda?
Of course.
Tai Lung thinking he's gonna be the Dragon Warrior, being trained to be the Dragon
His whole
Warrior
life.
the
No.
entire time,
Nah, man. Don't.
and then in the end,
It's not even like you don't have to laugh, man. Because Kung Fu Panda, like, yeah,
yeah,
it's animated cartoons, but there's some great writing in there. And Tai Lung is a
yeah,
very well written antagonist. I
yeah,
totally get what you're going for. Your whole
mhm.
life, you're bred to be this one thing. You're promised
Expectations,
expectations, and then to have it stripped from under you, it's gonna make you
yeah,
feel a type of way. Like I get
yep,
it, but it's just
yep,
funny. Kendall's like, I'm the eldest boy. Connor is the eldest boy. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's just fucking funny, man. And dude, Connor got such a sad ending, dude. Cause like in the previous episodes, you thought like him and Willa were coming closer, right?
yeah,
But then it's like you could tell Willa was trying to get him out of the house. Like, and then
hmm,
and Shiv knows it, right? Shiv knows she doesn't like Connor, but she's like, "Oh, good news for you, Willa. Looks like Con might end up staying here." And she's just like, Like it's just sad that he's stuck in a loveless marriage. But like Khan
Yeah,
said, I mean, he doesn't need love. I guess you know.
yeah. He's been kind of a nobody the whole series,
But you know,
just kind of like a side.
but you know what's cool about Connor, man? Like he didn't give a fuck about power. He took the money that his father gave him and the opportunities and just fucked off. He went to bought
Yep.
a ranch. He's living, not causing any
I
problems. And
would have done the same.
I saw some great videos where there's a couple things we might have missed about Connor. Like if you think back to when the family was fighting and they were gonna do that photo shoot, and then like, what's a good memory with your dad? Well, I remember when my dad took us camping and this and that. And then after it's like, camping? I didn't take you camping. And then Roman was like, oh yeah, that was Connor. And basically, the video kind of hinted that Connor got the worst of it, probably the abuse from Logan and the
Hmm.
neglectfulness, and
Hmm.
that he tried his best while the kids were being raised to be like a surrogate father to them. And there's a lot of instances throughout the show where he does things or memories come up of Connor being there for them. Like, uh, uh, I forget who it was. Someone had an event going, but Connor showed up for them. He showed up for
Yep.
them to support them, always there to support the kids. And it's just fucked up the way they treat him. Like he's a nobody, like he's nothing.
Yeah. He got left behind.
Yeah, and it's just super sad, bro.
And
But
yeah.
yeah, okay, okay. Well, I think there's some minor characters, but we don't need to talk about it. So overall rating of the episode,
The final episode, I have to give that.
10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 for me, dude.
I had no problems with it. I mean, it's one of the best final episodes I've
Yep.
ever watched.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. I don't think there's too much for us to say about that. So season 4 as a whole, how do you rank it?
Season 4 as a whole is also one of the best
Best seasons of
seasons.
all time. Yep.
Yeah.
I have it. Right now, for me, it's tied with Breaking Bad season 5, and it might be better. I just need to rewatch Breaking Bad season 5. It's been like a year or two since I've seen it, so I need to rewatch. But as of
Now
right now,
seasons I have to rank differently because
right?
they're long, there's a lot of episodes you have to put into account.
Yeah,
So, season 4,
for me, up top, dude.
yeah, it's up top definitely, but I can't give it a 10, you know.
Hmm.
I don't know if I could give it a 10.
Well, not and 10 implies perfection. So whenever I
Yeah,
say 10 out of
nothing's
10,
perfect.
nothing's. But when I say the words like 10 out of 10, to me that implies it's as good as it can be, right? Because
Mhm.
nothing is perfect. So for me, 10 out of 10s don't actually mean like perfection. It's just like as close as you can get, right? For
Yeah.
me, for me, season 4, 10 out of 10, S tier, like S plus, man, like the best of the best.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree. In that case, yes.
Yeah,
10 out of 10.
because I
Yeah.
know, like I agree with you. Nothing is
Cuz
perfect.
yeah, there's I think that's the best they could have done. Like
Hmm.
the ending, everything. It
Yeah.
was very good.
Um. Okay, so how do you rank the seasons? So yeah, season 4 number 1 for sure, and then what's your number
Mhm.
2? Season 2 or 3?
Ooh, honestly, I think season 3 was better than 2. I
Oh,
think.
I need to rewatch, man.
I have to rewatch 2. I've only watched it once. I mean, of course I just watched it so it's kind of fresh in my head, but not really.
I'm gonna go. Okay, do we both agree season 1 is the weakest?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So okay, so I'm just gonna go season 4, season 2, season 3, season 1. For me, season 1 is like A tier, high A tier, but seasons 2, 3, and 4 are just S, like cream of the
Yeah.
crop, like cream of the crop, dude. It's just because the
Yep.
first couple episodes of Succession drag a little bit.
Oh yeah,
You know,
until episode 6.
yeah, there's great character work in there, but it drags a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it takes a minute for us to really get hooked in.
And I might sound crazy to say when I first started Secession, I hated it. I the first few
It took me a couple tries.
you know,
It took it
yeah,
took I watched the first episode or two and I just
yeah,
I didn't bother watching and I came back to it later. I don't know why. I think I was just looking for a new show to watch. So I was like, let me try this again because the same thing happened to me with a show called House of Cards. I don't know if you've ever seen it on
I've
Netflix.
never seen it.
It's a good show. But yeah, so it's like it took me, I was like, let me try again. And I fucking loved it. but it
Yeah.
did. Like I
Like
remember.
I had so many people telling me though
Yeah,
that it was very good, and
yeah.
I had to get past. They said yes, the first 5 episodes aren't the best. They're not
Which
very
isn't
good.
good. That's not a good
Yeah,
endorsement. Like, oh, just put
yeah,
up with these first couple episodes, and then like that's not a good endorsement. But I think,
yeah. It's very hard to watch
yeah,
5 hours
yeah.
of content.
I think if we go back though and rewatch season one, I think those
It'll
first
be
couple,
better now.
I think it will. I'm gonna need to rewatch soon. I'm gonna rewatch soon, but yeah, there's not a bad season in the lot, dude.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I mean, it's like not we don't have as much to say about Succession because I feel like the show's legacy is more cemented than something like Barry. Because with Barry, we had issues, but I guess I
Yeah.
mean I'm kind of tapped out on Succession, man. Anything you want to add?
I'm about done with session 2.
All right.
So
So let's move on to Ted Lasso. Now you're not done with Ted Lasso, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about it and get your thoughts on it as someone who's been kind of binging. Where are you in Ted Lasso?
I am on season 3, episode 3. I think I couldn't watch
Okay.
as much as I wanted to yesterday,
Okay, so
but
we'll just spend a couple minutes on this. So real quick, what are your thoughts on Nate?
Nate, bro, dude, I really liked Nate. It hurt.
It hurt, dude.
It hurt.
So here's one thing I noticed about Nate is that I don't know if it's an ego. I think it's more of an insecurity, but that was sprinkled in since the first season. Um,
Yeah, you see this guy who's portrayed as like he's a loser. Like everybody bullies him.
yeah.
He gets one little taste of power. He
Mm-hmm.
wants it all,
Yeah.
you know?
Like when before they promoted him, which man, when he got promoted, that made me cry. But I think I was so caught, like, because literally his promotion came right after that. I got caught up in Nate being promoted. That literally the scene right before he fucking threatened that new Kitman, like,
Yeah.
and was an asshole to him because he thought he was taking his spot. Like, a lot of people say that Nate's turn kind of came out of nowhere, but dude, it was there the whole time that Nate was insecure.
Mhm.
Nate was like was kind of like he has a bit of an ego to him. He there's a lot going on with Nate.
You got to put yourself in his shoes, you know, after probably his entire life being the loser and
Hmm.
finally someone gives him a bit of power. It it would make sense for him to want it all. He
Yeah.
wants all the power.
How okay. Well, what was your interpretation of that scene with Ted when he finally confronts him in the final episode and rips the Believe poster and all that?
Dude, I think it's just him wanting to take Ted's spot. I think he wants to be the top boss. Like I said, like he wants to get all the power. He doesn't want anybody else getting power.
So okay, so that's your interpretation of it. So
Yeah.
and like I'm not trying to say that you're wrong, but I think the more accepted interpretation by people, and this is not even counting season three, like you need to see season three to come to this. At the time,
Mhm.
I think it was basically Nate lashing out at Ted and saying everything to Ted that he couldn't say to his own father. Like
Oh,
I think a
okay.
lot of Nate's issues come from the relationship with his father or the
You
lack thereof and the way his father
I
has
am
made
now
him feel.
realizing what you mean. Yeah. Now
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, cuz yeah.
Everything he says to Ted is basically what he should have told his dad the entire time. But he just, I don't think he fears his father, but I think his father has made him feel so inferior and like worthless almost that
Mhm.
Nate just can't bring himself to speak to him, so he takes it out on
Yeah.
Ted. Nate is such an incredibly damaged person, dude, and I feel genuinely bad for him. And what have you seen from Nate so far in season three?
In season 3, okay, so in the last episode, now I'm seeing what you mean cuz in the last I think it was the last episode I watched. He did like an interview where he was talking shit about Ted, and right after he gets that message and it says your dad is disappointed that you cursed, and it shows his face
Yeah, because
and like he's so hurt.
because
Like,
you know what's funny? He is kind of like the Roman kids, where he wants his father's approval, but he can never get it. No matter
yeah,
what he does, Dad, I got promoted,
he's
and like,
winning now, and
yeah,
he's
and his
can't.
dad still is not proud of him, and I think that
Yep,
really fucked him up.
yep.
And like I said, like this conclusion I came to, this was well before season 3 came out. Like this is how I looked at that scene of Nate just basically talking to his father through Ted, because he saw Ted as a father figure.
Hmm.
Um, and I love how over the season how Nate's hair kind of turns gray, symbolizing his turn
Yeah,
to the dark side. You know what I mean? And then
yeah,
I think season 3 opens with him in all black, right?
yep.
Yeah, yeah. But
Doing that villain
nah,
pose.
dude, Nate is one of my favorite characters of all time, and I think the character work you're gonna get with him in season 3, like, ooh, man, there's some scenes in there with Nate, man. You know, Ted Lasso, dude, is one of those shows where it'll make you cry more than it makes you laugh.
Mhm.
Like, it got more
Yeah,
tears out of me than laughs. Although Roy Kent is fucking fun, dude. The character arcs like you're not even done yet, but like so many character arcs. Roy, Jamie, Keely, Rebecca, Ted himself, Nate. Like the character work is insane, dude, and like their conclusions. Like you'll get to it, but yeah. Overall, I mean, what do you rank seasons 1 and 2 of Ted Lasso? They're both S to me. Like they're both fucking peak.
yeah. I loved season 1, dude. I wish I would have watched this show a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's okay.
I, I didn't think. Okay, I had low expectations. I hate to say that,
Mm-hmm.
and at this point, when you recommend something to me, I shouldn't,
Mm-hmm.
because every single thing you've recommended me, I ended up loving. But I had low expectations for like a soccer, like a soccer show comedy.
Right.
I just didn't think it was gonna be anything, and then I watched it, and now I've watched what two seasons in like a week.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're blown away.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
One thing that pisses me off is like when people are in my comment section saying like bro, like there's no soccer in this show anymore. Like I'm like, bro, this show was or sorry, football. I was like, bro, this show
yeah.
was never about football, dude. Like
Mhm.
it's literally like the least important thing of the show. The whole show is
It's
about
about the characters. It's
making an
about
impact on people's lives and helping people
yeah,
become the best versions of themselves. And dude, how about that scene where we finally find out what happened to Ted's dad? Dude, that shit broke
dude.
my heart, man.
Oh yeah,
I was crying, bro.
dude. Me too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then like so many good Ted Lasso moments, like where he talks about people underestimating him his whole life. That the dart scene with Rupert, that was
Yeah.
so many good just speeches from
Barbecue
Ted.
sauce.
Yeah, dude, just Ted is such a go-to character, man.
And like his panic attacks break my heart too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Cause
and when Nate leaked it to the press, oh Nate, I was like, "What are you doing, man?"
dude,
That hurt me,
I
bro.
yeah
That
yeah
hurt so
that
much,
hurt.
man. But like I said, I think Nate was just so hurt, and he felt rejected by Ted because Ted had so much going on with himself that,
Hmm.
like, I hate to say it because Nate's a grown man, but Ted didn't have, I guess, the time to give Nate the attention he needed or the validation
Yeah,
that he needed, even though
yeah,
he always talked about how great Nate was. He even had a photo of
yeah,
Nate in his apartment, you know?
yeah.
And,
He has to give, but he has to give that to everyone. He has a
right.
whole team.
Yeah.
He has to give his attention to, and Nate wants it all.
Because he couldn't get it from his father, and he's
Yeah,
so insecure. Dude,
yeah.
Nate is such a good fucking character, man. He's my
He is.
Ted
He
Lasso
is.
is a show filled with incredible characters, but dude, for me, Nate is just my favorite.
Yeah.
But I guess we can leave it there. I just wanted to touch on it to see how you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I think it's one of the best shows of all time, and people kind of like Ted Lasso, one of the best shows. Like it's like just because it's like a comedy or something, it's just so irrelevant, dude. Like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
handles its dramatic moments better than most dramas do. You
It
know,
does. It does.
like
Yep.
yeah. Anyways, all right.
And wait, when it comes to comedy,
Mhm.
people complain about comedy. I think that makes things easier to watch.
Yeah.
Like a lot of time, even like with like Barry and Ted Lasso, the comedy makes it where you could get through the episodes, and it makes the emotion
Hmm.
like pop even more than it would
Oh
if the
yeah,
whole episode was just drama.
and especially like a show like Barry that just gets so fucking dark. Like it's good to
Hmm.
inject some humor. Like
Yeah,
like bro, how do you make a scene where four people's decapitated heads in a bag are funny? Well,
yeah,
Barry knows how to do that. Like
yeah,
it's not. It's like such a morbidity to it, bro. Where it's like we're seeing these awful acts on screen, but the way they portray it is like so fucking funny, dude.
yeah.
Like it like almost hides its violence and humor. Like I love it, man. But same thing with Ted Lasso, man. Like you'll get it's like a different kind of heavy from Barry, right? But
Yeah.
it's still heavy either way, and like they'll break that heaviness with some jokes, and I do think that the comedy flows pretty well. I don't think the comedy ever felt too forced in Ted. There's a few times
Mhm.
where it could have gone without a joke, but for the most part, I think that the humor flows very well, and I think that
Yep.
continues in season 3. So
I'm hyped. I'm hyped for season 3.
yeah. So for anybody listening, we'll for sure break that down next week. Okay. Real quick, let's touch on Silo. So what are your thoughts on Silo, man, overall? Like how have you been enjoying the season?
Okay. I am loving season 1, but I don't know if they could go anywhere after season 1. Is my problem. Like I think it's really good. I think it'd make a really good limited series cuz after you solve the mystery, like
Wait, you
what
know the
more could you
mystery?
do?
You know the mystery? You've read the books?
I I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I do not know the answer to the mystery. I know there is a mystery. I don't know.
Especially after the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Of everybody's being watched and this and that, like makes you wonder like what exactly is going on in the
Yeah.
silo and all these different factions. Like I think it's definitely a good mystery. I get what you're saying. Once the mystery's solved, where do we go from here? So here's I don't know the books. I don't know this or that. First of all, I don't think the mystery is going to be solved this season. Second, if it is solved, well, now we have I don't want to say like a revolution on our hands, but maybe the people rising up or trying to find out what's really going on. So that could be something we go towards.
Yeah.
From
Like
what
I
I've
guess after the mystery's solved, they could do another season of them trying to
Mhm.
get out to try and
I don't know if this is based on one book or multiple books, but from the reviews I've seen from some of my favorite YouTubers, they mention that definitely the show has added a lot more character work. And
Mhm.
they're dragging out the mystery a bit more, but they're saying they're doing a good job of not dragging it out to the point where it's boring, which I agree. It hasn't been boring. Um,
Yeah.
but no, I like where the show's going. I think this could be the next big show. I think it definitely has like all the elements of what we want. Where there's a thriller aspect to it a bit, the mystery aspect. We have some pretty cool characters. One thing that does bother me is like the lead actress, Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah.
Like, like why not just let she's British, right?
Yeah.
Why just not let her be British? Because so many times when she's speaking, you hear her British accent starting to come out.
Yes. That I was thinking that literally
Yeah.
I watched it about an hour ago. I finished the episode
If you can't do an
cuz
accent, don't do it.
yeah,
It's
her accent I
totally
could hear it. Yeah.
yeah. It's just kind of like one of those things. Like, it's not a deal breaker, but it's like, bro, like, just be British. Fuck it. Why can't there be British people
Yeah.
in the vault? You know.
Yeah, maybe
But
like one part of the vault has British people.
so what do you? So we had talked about this before, but I think the balls on this show, right? When we start with that couple, right,
Yeah.
and we see them as the lead characters, and she dies, and I'm like, oh
Yep.
shit. So now the show's gonna be him trying to figure out what happened to
And
her.
then he
He
dies the
dies.
second episode.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then like, oh, okay, so it's gonna be about what was the name? Marnes, the officer who died, and
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
and then he dies, and it's
Yep.
like, dude, holy shit, like, bro, oh my god, like almost no one's safe. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
did you think he was dead at that cliffhanger when the guy had him at gunpoint?
I didn't. I thought it was gonna like start off with him surviving it somehow, like the next episode.
And it's just fucking dead. You just the show's
And that's kind of cool. It's kind of gave a realistic approach to like
yeah.
they could have had something happen where he lives, but is that necessarily realistic?
Nope, he's fucking dead. And I was
Yeah,
like,
right.
holy shit! Like, so now it's like we're on a whole different path. So now it's not even about figuring out like what's going on with the outside. She just wants to figure out what happened to the love of her life. So it's like
Yep.
because if you figure out what happened to him, then it's like an ever evolving mystery. 'Cause first, you need to figure out what happens to him. And then once you figure out what happened to him, then you need to figure out why. And when you figure out the why, you're gonna go to the root cause. And then when you get to that, it's like a whole other can of worms. So it's like it's a mystery stacked on top of a mystery on top of a mystery. It's like a slowly like an opening book or something like that. Like little by little, it's getting
Yeah.
revealed. Like I like the way they're doing it. Like they're giving us like nuggets here and there and
Hmm.
just enough to keep us hooked, but like not so little that we lose interest. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I like what they're doing, and but I don't know. I think yeah. Okay. I don't know if it could be all time great. You know.
No,
I
well,
gotta.
no.
You
We
know.
we need to see how the season like progresses and stuff. But I when I
Yeah.
when I said this is like the next big show, I just mean like the next show that like that gets some good hype around it, like
Oh, okay.
or that or that
Yeah.
or that becomes like very critically like appraised or something like that,
Mhm.
like for like Severance is that like The Bear, right? We still like okay,
Yeah.
like three of some of the best shows of all time just ended. Like what do we have to look forward to? Well, we have The Bear, we have
Yeah.
Severance, and now possibly we could have Silo, or it could just end up being a decent show. You never know, right? But I
I
just
think it would have made a very good limited series, though.
you think so?
I think, yeah, I think it would have been. They could do more seasons. I could be wrong, but I think it would have been best as a limited series, like just one season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You could be right, but I think there's a lot of stories to tell there, and I think like maybe 2 or 3 seasons might be good. So we'll see where this goes. But yeah, I just wanted to touch base on Silo, and we'll for sure be reviewing the episodes every week.
Mhm.
So okay, final segment. Let's talk some Better Call Saul. So like I said before, we'll be rewatching the entire universe just because we love it. We want to talk about it, nerd out over it. So every week we might watch one episode, we might do two. Because I just realized like there's a lot of episodes, dude. So
Yeah, that'd be like a
maybe we
year.
should do like 2 or 3 at a time or something like that. But okay, so we're
Yeah.
gonna start with the pilot for Better Call Saul. So
You still have all your notes?
yeah, I have my notes. So
Okay.
starting off, it's a great cold open. There's no
Mhm.
dialogue. Even without the dialogue, it tells you everything you need to know about the state of the mind of where Saul Goodman is at and like how he's doing mentally. Like you think of that scene of him just sitting there watching old Better Call Saul commercials, like that's the only good thing in his life because it's the only thing that
Yeah.
has color.
He's not able to be him, you know?
Yeah, and he's looking back at kind of like the glory days.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell he's miserable,
Yeah.
like working that dead end job. And I like how he
He can't
predicted
be
it.
himself. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how he predicted it. Remember in Breaking Bad, he's like, "I'll be lucky if I'm in Omaha working at a Cinnabon or something
Yep.
like that."
That
Like,
was a good little. Yeah.
yeah, I love how that's just his fate. Um, uh, Black and White was a perfect choice. It sets a certain type of like tone and mood to how we should feel about like the I guess you would call it the current timeline, right?
Yeah.
Or
And
the
he's
June
lost
timeline.
all the color in his life,
Yep,
is pretty much what they're saying. Like,
and
he's lost all.
sense of
Like, he's.
joy,
Yeah. Yeah.
happiness. Yeah.
Everything's just black and white, boring.
So next, I put it's brave for a show to go 7.5 minutes with no dialogue in its pilot episode. When you think about it, we have the opening with Gene, and then we go to Saul in the bathroom. Like all of that, no dialogue. Like that's ballsy, man.
Yeah, it is.
Those 7.5 minutes set up Better Call Saul perfectly for what it wants to be and what it becomes—a slow burn character study. a show that's not afraid to take its time, and a show that treats the audience like adults. It shows us what we need to know. It doesn't tell us. Um, the way the show manages tones is incredible. From that cold black and white open to cutting to a young Jimmy hyping himself up in the bathroom is sharp, but it flows perfectly with who we know Saul Goodman is. Um,
You know,
we get such a
okay,
different contrast. Go ahead.
yeah, I noticed. Okay, so you talk about show and tell a lot. I want to touch on that. Yes, because that is actually you're right about that. Because a lot of shows, like we talked about this last time,
Mm-hmm.
how the show and tell is important. Because you can't always just tell everybody what it is. Sometimes you just got to show it. You got to
Yeah.
let the viewers recognize
Mm-hmm.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. It's one of those things. Like I saw it in a YouTube video, right? Or Vince Gilligan said it himself in a lesser.
Yeah,
I mean, he would never use
I
the
saw that. Yeah.
he would never use the term lesser, but I'm gonna use it. In a lesser show,
Hmm.
you might have Chuck tell Jimmy, come on, how long have we been brothers for? It's like, who the fuck
Yeah.
talks like that? You know,
No one.
no one talks like that, and it's like, you know, some people, if you miss it, like you might not be sure if Chuck and Jimmy are brothers. The
Yeah.
only indication we get that they're brothers is Chuck has a check on it, and it's from HHM, and it says to Chuck McGill, Chuck McGill,
Yeah.
Jimmy McGill. Oh, they're
Yep.
brothers, right? Like it's like little things like that that helps with not breaking the immersion, because it's
Yeah.
like imagine if there was a show about two friends, and I'm like, Wyatt, come on, man, we've been friends for 35 years. Like you think I would turn my back? It's like, who the fuck talks like that?
That's so cartoony.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. So it's like that show and tell, man.
Hmm.
Um, Bob Odenkirk is magnetic, charming, hilarious, all in his opening scene. What a way to open his character! Like, yeah, like you go from him in the bathroom, it's showtime, and then
And
the way he puts on a show in that courtroom, I'm like, this is fucking Saul Goodman right here, dude. Like,
yeah, and that's one of the main problems with Better Call Saul, though, that I had before I watched Better Call Saul is I thought, who wants to watch a show about Saul, like
he's
that lawyer
goofy.
from Breaking Bad? Yeah.
He's goofy, and he's kind of a like he's scummy, sure. But like, give
Yeah.
me a show about Mike, or give me a show about Gus.
Yeah.
Like that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking when I heard they were making a Saul Goodman show. I was like, really, him? But
Hmm.
why? Why not do a Gus show? Even though we kind of already got everything we needed from his backstory, or like, why not a Mike show or a Jesse show? But like Saul, that's what you're
And
going
but
with?
then, like, no one expects it. Like, I've had several friends who are like, "I'm not gonna watch Better Call Saul. Who wants to watch that? Who wants to watch
Yeah,
the show about that lawyer guy?" And I tell them, no. Once you watch it, it might be better than Breaking Bad in
yeah,
your opinion,
yeah.
which it is. All right.
And you know what's crazy? I came to the conclusion that it was better than Breaking Bad, like during season 5 for me.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
I don't
Yep.
think
Same.
I think Breaking Bad still might have like the more memorable peaks, but
Yeah.
like the thing about me is like consistency, and I think Better Call Saul is more consistently excellent than Breaking Bad. Like I think Breaking Bad season 1 and 2, there's moments of like of just like in season 1, I feel like the show didn't know what it wanted to be. Like we had kind of like black comedy aspects of it. We had kind of tonal issues. It was great. It was great television. Don't get me wrong, but I think with Better Call Saul, it knew what it wanted to be from the jump, and that kind
Yeah.
of like helped the writers fill in the blanks. And like the direction is better. The direction of the show, the actual directing, the camera work, the visual storytelling, the writing, the writing of all the side characters is just like Walter and Jimmy might be on the same league, but in terms of the
Yeah.
rest of the side cast,
Dude. No.
like I love Mike in Breaking Bad, but is he
Yeah.
really anything more than cold badass henchman?
Yeah. In Better Call Saul, he becomes so much more than what he was.
Yeah,
Like, in season 5 they showed a little bit of who Mike was in
Yeah,
Breaking Bad in
yeah, yeah.
season 5,
He
but then
loves his
Better
granddaughter.
Call Saul, yeah,
Turned him into a three-dimensional character,
yeah,
and in
they
my
built
opinion,
on it so good.
so I don't know. Okay, in terms of best written characters in the Breaking Bad universe, I think the only people better than Mike are Saul, Kim, and Walter. I think he's better written than
Yeah,
Jesse, than Gus. Ever like Mike
yeah,
is such a deep and fascinating character. And that's the
he
thing.
is, he is.
Howard, like dude, Chuck, Howard, Nacho. Like it's like yeah, the writing is just on another level, dude. Like I think.
Yeah.
Um, okay, we see shades of Saul Goodman in this opening scene. A trickster who can spew out verbal diarrhea at light speed, and it's awesome to see him work. The reveal of what Jimmy was defending is also hilarious. When they were like fucking the
Oh
severed
yeah.
head. Um,
Yeah.
Also, an interesting side note. It's who Jimmy starts out defending in the pilot versus who he ends up defending in season 6. He goes from these innocent little kids, not
Hmm.
innocent but harmless, to right like fucking
Hmm.
getting Lalo Salamanca out of jail.
And that's what gets money, you know.
Yeah,
It shows like right there in the first episode. Money is like his big problem. He's like throughout. I think most of the first episode, his problem. They show his car. They show him complaining about his pay to that
yeah.
lady. They show him complaining to Chuck about money. It's money, you
Yeah.
know. Crime pays.
From the moment he gets into his shitty car, you sense the desperation he's feeling. Seeing him flip out over his $700 check and then seeing his crappy car, such a sad way to see Jimmy. Because,
Yep.
especially compared to Better Call Saul, man, he was living good.
Yeah.
There's a moment after the Kettlemans call Jimmy that you hear the desperation in his sighing and breathing. It hurts to see Jimmy in the state like this is like you get the sense like this is like life or death.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't get this Kettleman deal, like he's sleeping on the streets, which damn near he
Yep.
might be. And then just a little side note, how freaking awesome was it seeing Mike for the first time in the toll booth?
Oh yeah, dude. And you could tell it's him. You hear his voice.
Did you
$5.
did you think that Mike was gonna be as integral to the story as he became? Because he was basically like the second protagonist for a
Yeah,
while.
I didn't at first I thought, okay, that was just a cool reference to have him be there,
Mike
you
wasn't.
know.
Mike didn't get anything to do until 5-0, right? Or did he do
Yeah.
anything before that?
I don't think yeah, no, I don't think so. He was just kind of there every once in a while. Saul would drive through that ticket
And
booth.
you give him shit at the toll booth.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a small moment and a comedic one, but seeing Mike be a stickler for the rules will really help paint his character as we move forward in the decay of his morality. From
Yeah.
upholding the harmless rules of even a toll booth to murdering a man he looked at as a friend, which is Werner Ziegler. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's crazy to see his starting point versus like his worst moment. You know,
Yeah. He goes to the dark side, man.
like
It's sad.
the first what 2 or 3 seasons. It's literally it's Mike's speech all over to Walter about half measures. He's
Yep.
literally doing half measures with Tuco, and
Yeah.
it doesn't end up working with Tuco. He tried to
And you
do it.
see when he hurts that guy who broke into his house,
Mhm.
and that guy leaves. It's a little thing, but he goes in the bathroom and his hands shaking
Yeah.
because he just hurt somebody. He's not that kind of person anymore. You know.
And then like and like the half measures where he's trying to ruin Lalo's drug trade and he gets the driver killed
Hmm.
inadvertently, and then he an innocent bystander tries to help, and that person gets killed. It's like
And he goes through the work to dig that guy up to
yep,
find him, so the
yeah.
police can find him.
The problem is you chose a half measure, Walter, when you should have
Yeah.
gone all the way. So it's like, yeah, like it's just crazy to see the lengths Mike goes through to not murder. Comparing how he starts to where he ends up.
Hmm.
Um, Next, we move on to Saul's meeting with the Kettlemans. The Kettlemans are incredibly infuriating, but so freaking hilarious. Those actors all deserve rewards. Betsy is a top tier character. She's fucking annoying, dude.
Yeah, she is.
She's fucking annoying, dude. But she is so funny. she is so infuriating. Like how she just refuses to like take any accountability. Just like I wanted to punch the screen watching her, dude.
Yeah.
Um, it's sad to see Saul's desperate situation during this meeting. The man is on the verge of having a mental breakdown watching the Kettleman sign his contract. You can feel the sense of desperation and being on his last leg. If he doesn't get this, he dies. He's not eating. Now, it may not be that bad, obviously, but Odenkirk's performance makes us feel like this could be life or death for him. And seeing the Kettlemans turn him down sucked. The look on his face said it all. He was crushed.
Yeah, it was like thirst.
Yeah.
Like he needed a drink. He needed something.
Everything in
You
his
know.
life, like, is going down. Like, literally, we talked about this last time, but it reminds me so much of Spider-Man 2. Like, why do we love Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man? Or Spider-Man in general?
Mhm.
It's because he's the underdog. And that's the way Saul is painted here. Like, the whole world is just shitting on him relentlessly. Um, Non-stop. Like, it's just, he just L after L after L. And when you see underdogs like that, like, it helps you, like, bond with them. Like, you want to see Jimmy get a win, dude. Like, just one freaking win, bro. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that's why like we love Jimmy so much. Like we
Mhm.
forget Saul Goodman's even a thing, dude. Like watching this
Yeah.
episode, like
Yeah.
this is a whole new character that we don't really know.
Yep.
You know?
I completely forget who he becomes.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't do
Yeah.
the wrong thing. But I
Yeah.
know in the end he's gonna become Saul.
Yeah. Next we move on to the infamous Skater twins. You can't scam the scammer. Trying to pull one over on Jimmy. I just love how
Mhm.
smart he is. He knows right away that they're trying to fuck him. Like
Yep.
he's just too good. I love the foreshadowing of one of the twins screaming his leg is broken. Yeah, I love seeing Jimmy's intellect. He figured out that it was a scam quick. One thing Jimmy refuses to be is a sucker, which is one of the things that really pushes his character forward, where he refuses to be the butt of anybody's joke or to be a sucker like his dad. Like
Yeah.
it's really like good character work that you don't pick up on until later.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. He wants like recognition,
mm-hmm.
but like at the same time he wants money.
Yeah, yeah, that's the bitch, ain't it?
Yeah.
Next, we move on to the legendary nail salon. Our boy Jimmy can't even get some cucumber water. Like all of the L's that Jimmy keeps taking reminds me, like I said, of Spider-Man 2. Going through all the low struggles and hardships with our main character really helps build a bond and connection with Jimmy. When he struggles, I struggle. At this point, we just want Jimmy to get a win. Well, why not? He deserves it. The show is slowly building Jimmy out to be an underdog, and who doesn't love an underdog?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Um, our boy is working out of and living in the back of a nail salon. Depressing. These are the roots of our underdog. Seeing him basically pray that he has messages on his answering machine just adds another layer to Jimmy's low point and desperation. Like,
Yeah, dude, like
go ahead, go ahead.
he needs money. He's tired of being at the bottom. He
Yeah,
can't stand it. He can't
yeah.
stand being who he is right now.
Um, show don't tell. A lesser show would have had Jimmy vent his frustrations to a friend or have someone point out how Jimmy is feeling. Thankfully, none of that is present here. The writers really like respect their audience to kind of come to these conclusions on their own. It's something as small as Jimmy, just the way he's looking at the contract, like the way him praying to his fucking answering machine. Like it's all these little things that just build
Yeah.
up over time that just add to Jimmy's like desperation. Um, Now we cut to Jimmy arriving at HHM. Again, show don't tell. Jimmy giving a quick glance at that dented trash can tells us everything we need to know. He's been here
Mhm.
before. He's obviously whatever happened here is not good. Like
Yeah.
he's the one who tore up that trash can.
Yep.
And something is happening here that is upsetting Jimmy. In the span of a minute, we see Jimmy McGill, a desperate man who's hanging on by a thread, to Saul Goodman, the showman, the man who cannot be stopped and doesn't take no for an answer. Very early on, we establish the dual personalities of Jimmy, who he really is and who he projects to the world as armor. So what I mean by that is we go from literally the scene right before him in his office to him looking at that trash can to boom, you will atone. Like,
Yeah.
and the way he's just putting on a show, like it's like literally in the span of a minute, we have two different sides of this character. Like it's
Mhm.
crazy. Um, and then I just put like Kim, Howard. Awesome to see them. How they would have a major impact later on. Uh, okay. Okay. So early on, did anybody wonder about Howard's intentions? With how the show has made us care for Jimmy, we are inclined to lean towards Jimmy and see Howard as a man who only cares about his firm. He doesn't want to pay out Chuck. He doesn't give a shit about him, about beating whatever it is he has. Does he truly value Chuck as a mentor? I wasn't sure about that, but there is a scene in season 3 that puts all that to bed. I can't wait to get to it. So, the scene I'm referring to, which I had told you about, was when Chuck told Howard that he was going to sue him. Chuck does this, like, the acting was so good. Like there's so much good acting on the show that a lot of good acting goes under the radar. But there was a scene
Yeah.
with Patrick Fabian, like after Chuck tells him that, he looks at Chuck, like his mouth is open, you see the tears in his eyes are swelling up, and like he gives him that look, like I don't even know who you are anymore. Like you could tell his heart was breaking that
Mm.
the man that he values so much would betray him like this. And
Yep.
at first, I really didn't know how to feel about Howard because I think the show was inclined to push him towards kind of
Yeah.
being a douchebag, like a snobby
Yeah.
douchebag.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
Um,
That's what I thought. I thought the same thing. I thought he was just, you know, just the villain. I thought he was going to be the villain.
mhm.
He ended up being the victim.
But at the same time, though, like you have to be held accountable for your actions because yes, Chuck was the one pulling the strings, but he's a grown man, dude. He
Mhm.
didn't have to go along with what Chuck wanted. Um, to add insult to injury of Jimmy's issues, now the Kettlemans are going with Howard. And then, boom, finally a brief moment of catharsis. Jimmy taking it all out on that trash can. The world will just
Mhm.
not stop coming down on him. Literally just the whole episode has been building to him beating the shit out of this trash can, man. And what a scene, the way they frame it, man. It's so good. And then the very next scene, oh my gosh, that shot, the scene. Kim and Jimmy sharing that cigarette. Show, don't tell. So much is told here through the simple exchange between these two. Um, them two sharing an addiction. You
Mhm.
get that sense that they're friends, they're close, they've been friends for a long time. Like, could you just no? But I can't. Like we don't. They don't explicitly say what they're referring to, but we can kind of piece it together ourselves. Like this is like what good writing is, man. Like it's just yeah, it's just man. Um, what are your thoughts on that scene?
I think it shows that Kim is the only one that's outside. Like, she has a different perspective. She's outside of everything. She sees the other side of Jimmy
Mm-hmm.
that no one else sees. She sees
Everybody
his
sees
desperate.
everybody sees
Yeah.
flipping Jimmy. She sees just Jimmy. Like she knows
Yeah.
the sweet person he is and can be. Um
Yep.
and a small detail that I liked was at the end of the scene we see Kim picking up the garbage can that Jimmy kicked, indicative of Kim's nature, cleaning up after Jimmy, being there for him, being the one that has to clean
Hmm.
up his messes because time and time again Jimmy fucks up and Kim pays for it.
Yep. And that was a whole reference. Like, the whole series, she's cleaning up his messes for him.
Yep, like when he was throwing the bottles over the roof, and the next
Yep.
day, well, she was a part of it too, but she's the one who cleans it up. And then later on, when
Yeah.
her character's really shifted and they do that again, she just leaves it there. Like,
Yep.
yeah, like little details like that, man, is what makes this show so good. Like, there's so much because after this point, I think the character work is kind of over, right? Then we get into
Yeah.
like my only issue with the plot or with this first episode, but like everything up to this point, dude, we haven't even talked about him and Chuck, like their first meeting together. But yeah, just establishing that dynamic with Chuck is so good.
Hmm.
Um, and his dynamic with Kim, with Howard, how he sees Howard as an adversary, and Kim's there in his moments of weakness to kind of console him. Them sharing the cigarette, the garbage can, like so much work has been done and it's insane, dude. Like I really think this pilot might
Yeah,
be better than Breaking Bad. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but I
I
do.
agree. I agree.
I prefer Better Call Saul's pilot over Breaking Bad's. Like,
And the thing that they show also is so everybody's telling him, "Oh, you need to be this good lawyer. You need to follow the rules."
mhm.
But he's not seeing the reward when
Yeah,
he does be the good lawyer. He gets no reward for it.
yep.
When the other way around, when he's not being the good lawyer that everybody tells him, he gets rewarded. He gets money. He gets power.
hmm So, so next is okay. We get to the scam portion, and like the only criticism I have of this is that it it sticks out a lot when you compare the writing that comes later, where everything makes so much sense. Nothing is left to chance. Everything is indicative of the characters and how they behave, and it comes natural. The one issue I have is that out of all the cars in Albuquerque, it was Tuco's abuelita. You know,
Yeah,
like
and you know that's the writers fighting with their Breaking Bad selves. They're thinking, okay, well, where's the action with this?
yeah,
You know what? Maybe we'll have Tuco show up at the end.
hmm
There's the action from Breaking Bad. But then they realized after they did that, we don't need this action.
like you have you have to involve the cartel side of Breaking Bad, right? To
Hmm.
because we have to intertwine these stories, and I get that.
Yeah,
But how do you do it in a clean and neat way? Everything that comes after this is obviously amazing, right? But it's just like the first introduction into the cartel world is so cartoonish and finicky and kind
yeah.
of
You know,
bullshitty.
now that I think about it, how they could have done it, I think they could have had it go through Mike. I think it could have been Mike that ends up introducing Jimmy to the cartel world instead of Jimmy so happened to run into Tuco, and the whole thing with Nacho. I think it could have gone through Mike, instead of
But how does
that
Mike
whole
get involved though?
coincidence.
How does Mike get involved?
That's a good that is true,
So
but
like
I think they could have found a better way though
I
than like
think
with Mike.
like I think the first season is like perfectly written, man. Like the character
Mhm.
work, the plot, like everything is perfectly written except for this one moment. Like
Yeah.
and it's a big moment because it literally it kickstarts right like the Jimmy's involvement,
Mhm.
Jimmy's introduction into the cartel world. But it's not clean, man. And when you're used to I mean, look at the peak writing that we just got, right? This is one of those things where
Yeah.
it feels like from a lesser show, and I hate to say it,
Mhm.
but this is right in line with what would have happened in Barry season 4. Like with Jim
And
Ross leaving a serial killer in his garage like that, this is like on the same level.
yeah, I'm very glad that the writers realized they didn't need that kind of like what they did with Tuco.
Right, because
They
that
didn't
episode,
need that.
because Mijo is fucking intense, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like that's the thing, at first, because I think as fans sometimes, like especially these kids on TikTok, they get caught up with, oh man, he's so complex and he has like the deepest writing and all that stuff. And
Mhm.
sometimes, sure, complexity is nice, depth is nice, sure, but like not everything has to be that. And I think Tuco is the perfect example of he's a fucking drug addict, he's insane, and
Mhm.
he's still even with those attributes, he'll outshine any deep and super thought provoking villain. Because
Yep.
the way the actor's name Raymond Cruz, the way he fucking commands the screen. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves, right? But fine,
Mhm.
fine. The way he commands the screen, like, is like unlike any other person. Like, it's
Dude,
different from
yeah.
Lalo. Like, Lalo gives me panic attacks too, but in a different way. Tuco is so fucking insane, dude.
And Vince, after season one, he wanted Tuco for another 2 seasons, and I see why.
Yeah,
I see why he wanted more Tuco
but I
because he's
don't.
just so good.
But I don't think a villain like that should
Could
be
have
around
stayed.
that long. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like he's good for what he served a purpose, but you after a while you do need like those more deeper, thought-provoking villains like a Gus, and
Like
even
yeah, like
Lalo.
us, yeah.
Lalo's a great villain in his own right,
Mhm.
in a whole different way. Because there's more to good writing than having a character have like a million different themes. You know, like
Yeah,
it's also about the way they're portrayed, the way they're written in the sense of like Lalo was portrayed as a fucking boogeyman in season 6, dude.
yeah.
But anyways, like we're getting off topic, right? But yeah, like that's like the only flaw. I mean, I guess you could say it's a big flaw. It's just like it feels like something out of a lesser show, like the
Hmm.
way it happened, out of chance, out of all the cars. Duco's
Hmm.
Abuelita had to drive the same one out of all the people they could have accidentally scammed. It was the
Of course,
grandmother of the.
I'm just realizing this now, but when I first watched, I was hyped when I saw
Oh
Tuco.
fuck yeah, dude!
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, I
yeah.
was hyped. I that literally caught me off guard, dude. Like how could you expect it to be him? You know
Yep.
what I mean?
So that's like this is one of those things you recognize like after your like third rewatch. You say, "Oh, that's kind of
Yeah,
not really what the show is later on. It
yeah.
doesn't really fit right with Better Call Saul."
Yeah, because it just like the show is so excellently written where every loose end is tied up, every character has a perfect resolution, everything is just perfect. But this one
Mhm.
moment, and you had to introduce Jimmy to the cartel. So I don't know how you could have done it better. I don't claim to know how to do it better, but that's just not it. Like
Yeah.
it was just too lucky. Like this show doesn't believe in luck. I think everything happens because the characters push the narrative forward.
Yeah, that felt like something out of like Barry. Like, oh, it happens to be Tuco
Yeah,
standing. Yeah.
because in Barry they've established in that world that
Hmm.
Barry gets a lot of bullshit luck.
Yep.
But even the bullshit luck makes sense for the most part. Like I told you, like how everything got pinned on that fucking moron meathead, right? It makes
Yeah.
sense, right? Like
But like
okay,
with Better Call Saul, it's not like that.
yeah,
It's not like Barry. It's
yeah.
not coincidentally Tuco.
Dougal's
You
grand,
know,
yeah. But other than that, man, like okay, final thoughts on the on Better Call Saul's pilot. Anything you want to add to it?
Not really. No,
Yeah,
I just think it's one of the best pilots. I agree with you. It is one of the best pilots. You know.
absolutely. If people want to say Breaking Bad is better, I could see why. It's definitely more exciting. And
Yeah.
I think if it wasn't following Breaking Bad, I don't think the writers could have taken some of the chances that they did. Because
Hmm.
any other show, that's not pre-established, the studio is going to be like, we got to hook the viewers in somehow. So we need
Yep.
something here. So I don't think Breaking or Better Call Saul could have taken some of these chances without it following Breaking Bad. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of people
Yeah.
wanted Breaking Bad and were turned off by it. Because
Yeah, how the series is kind of slow in season one,
it's very
but
slow.
it's slow in season one, but yeah, they definitely would have not gotten the viewers
It
if it
would
weren't for
it,
Breaking Bad,
it would have been a more Breaking Bad type intro, I think.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
like literally the opening shots, like Walt driving a van with two dead people in it.
hmm,
Like,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, to me, it's one of like the five greatest pilots of all time. I think it's up there with some of the best. It's a great intro, man. It really sets the groundwork for Jimmy. It sets like, and you don't know what you're watching with Kim yet, but looking back on it with what we know, it really, really established your character very well. Same with Chuck.
yeah,
Same with even with Mike. That small little moment with Mike, it really like gave insight into what his character would become later. Um, just these little tidbits that I just think overall make up one of the best pilots. Even with that kind of
yeah.
writing flaw, it still is just amazing to me. So
And that shows why it's like one of the best series like ever.
the best in my
Yeah,
opinion. Like, yeah,
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's my number one.
same dude, same. But yeah, no, I mean that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for tuning in to the first episode of Full Measures. It's a lot of fun. It's a long one, but next week we'll come back, discuss the Ted Lasso finale. We're gonna discuss Silo, and we might start a new show. See what else is popping. We'll start watching that. But Yeah, no, make sure to follow us on our socials. Links are everything's linked in. Badgy Boy TV on
Yep.
TikTok, and then you guys know me. So yeah, guys, make sure to give us a good rating if you can, and thank you guys for tuning in. So appreciate it.